Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another trading recap video update. Um, Today is another day, and for this video, I'm trying to um, show how I take my setups or how I plan for my setups, and if with the way the market is looking, which it's a huge spike, so I'm not worried, but I'm just gonna do a walk down video of how I enter my setups. Um, what I'm looking for when that happens. So after our previous episode where we passed our FTMO verification phase from this single trade, um, that means we still had 3 more days to trade to pass the minimum 4 trading days. So that's what we're doing right now. Yesterday I took another trade somewhere. I took another trade yesterday and um, we lost $10 on that trade. But I was just looking for the extra trading day. And so after our $10 loss, that counters that counted as a single trading day. So with that being said, um, we're now on our third trading day. And for our third trading day, the market just opened about 39 minutes ago, and it opened with, you know, a spike, just a serious spike on the 1 hour time frame. See, just a serious upward movement of the market, but which I was kind of expecting because from when we closed this trade at this level, um, the market then fell back down and came back right at the entry point of where we were. So it was sort of consolidating um, before then moving in its preferred direction. So from a higher time frame, let's go to the daily. We had this trend line, which we've seen in previous videos of when the fail came, and then it sort of started making new lower lows and higher highs, lower highs and higher highs. So we had that trend line and we had the alert. And so if we go now to the 4 hours where we can see it properly, we've had one, two, three, and on the fourth time of touching, it just breaks it. So, and that's good. Now, in the 1 hour time frame, you can see the lower highs that we've been making: higher high, higher high, higher high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, which I tried to mark to give me a sense of the market's direction. And on the 1 hour time frame, where I was looking, so I sort of earmarked this zone to say if we break above this level right here where sellers are sitting, if buyers are able to break above the zone where sellers are sitting, because they've pushed the market every single time when prices get to that location. So if buyers are finally able to break above this zone, then the market is just gonna move up to its potentially the highs of this higher high. But since this is a higher low, it's going to make a new higher high. So probably back to this level. So we're going to probably make a higher high at this level is what I'm looking at. And at the opening of the market, we're already halfway through the journey. So that was a very swift move, and we, did not even have a chance to look at what was going on. But then, what in my setups, what usually I am looking for is we broke this first high, which then um, made me to identify this zone from the 50-minute time frame, and we took our entry here and took it to the top, and we passed the FTMO phase two verification, and that was good. And so now I'm looking for the next setup. Okay, we did break this high, created this new high, and then now we've taken away this high now. So this new high has just been cleared by the market, and when this high got broken, I went back into our 50-minute time zone. If we can zoom out quite a little, so went back into our 50-minute time zone and said, okay, that high has been broken. Um, where can we find our demand zone? Is what I am looking for in the next setup. And the demand zone you can see, which I kind of have marked, is this is a candle before the explosion, which just kept on going and going and going. And also, this is another zone before explosion, going, which is just before the break of the previous high. So, and I've been through this a couple times. If I have two potential zones of demand, I always go with the oldest. I always go with the oldest. So that's what I'm doing right now, which I have it set up right here. This is a trade that I'm potentially looking to take, but for that to happen, the market is going to have to, make these moves, but also come back and tap into my zone before, uh, finding its way up to that zone, another good way. So this is what I'm hoping would happen. Um, if it doesn't happen that way, it's fine. We just not every demand or supply zone has to be how the market needs to come back. The market doesn't need to come back to every demand and supply zone to make it a valid setup. So if that doesn't happen, no, we're still good. A trade not taken is money not lost. So in that case, and if the market does not come back to our zone that we have identified right here, we're gonna wait for it to create a new, however it goes up, wait for it to create a new lower high, and then find the demand zone from that lower high when this high gets taken off. So if it say it goes up and then creates a lower high, when this high gets taken off, we're gonna see if we can find a demand zone somewhere here to take the next trade up to the zone. So either way is fine as long as we're not rushing into trades just because the market is spiking or whatever is going on with the market. So this is a one setup that I am waiting for on gold, um, which is right here. And if we go to our 5 percenters, we can see I have the setup here. This is gold. I have the setup here. If I put it on the 15 minutes, so I have the setup here on the 15 minutes at the entry there, and then our stop loss with an open take profit. But as you guys can see, currently I am in the S&P 500 buy trade, and we're up 700, which is good. And how we got into this trade is, for the past couple of weeks, if you go to our S&P, let's put this on the 4 hour. If you go to our S&P, in the past couple of weeks, the market has been falling. It's been falling, came back to this level, came to this level right there. After going down about in the last 3 months, when did the falling start? February. Yeah, February. So February, March, for the last 2 months it's been falling. um it got to this low and then started making the upward movement. So I said, you know what? If I'm gonna trade the S&P 500, um, I am only gonna do that when my trend line gets broken. When this trend line gets broken, then I can take the S&P 500 trade. So, um, and we also had the alert to say let us know when price crosses above that region. And you know today it did cross the region, which is why I took that trade, and I have my stop loss at the bottom. But for some reason my S&P is not moving, so I do not know what is going on here. I cannot explain why it's not ticking, but the market is indeed moving. um so if I go into the S&P for my 5 percenters, this is it right here. Boom, that is the S&P, and you can see where we took that trade. This is where we took the trade, and we're risking $700. Um, this is a 15 minutes. Let's put it to the 4 hours. It's better. Okay, it's better this way on the 4 hour. Yeah. So as you guys can see, um, we can almost have that trend line going down. We can almost have that trend line going down, which I think I can do. Trend line from there like that, and boom. So it got broken, stayed a little, and then, but as soon as it got broken, I was in the trade. Boom. And now we're up almost $900. So that's good. And I have no take profit for this one too, because it's S&P 500 from, I am trading the S&P 500 with, what can I say, with experience, or with, repetition is what I'm using. There's no analysis, just repetition, which is the same thing that happened uh, last year at the same month last year. In April, it is April 7th of last year when the S&P 500 started, doing big things. So I am using the same analysis. When it was falling, so last year it fell, and when this trend finally got broken at the third touch point, the market just went up. Setting how many pips did it go up by? It just went up. That is by what? Uh, uh, 44, 1400 pips, 1400 bars, 1400 points. That's a huge rise. Now, so that is the same thing that I am doing here. So, uh, and saying that, that's all, I am just hoping, that not the exact same thing should happen, or if the exact same thing happen where it goes up that by how many ever points this is, then that'd be amazing. um but I just have an open, just letting it run for as far as it can, which it's gonna probably make a new higher high. When was this high created? This was January of this year. So we might have to leave this trade until January of next year. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, because from when it broke the trend line, it just went up. So this one has been broken. So hopefully it's just gonna go up now, create new highs. I don't know, but we're in the trade and we're up $900. So you know, kudos. So that's my S&P. Um, but on gold, we're still seeing what the market is gonna do. But with this gap that the market has created, let's go back to gold. 1 hour. So you can see that gold is just ripping up to the top, ripping up to the top. But our setup is still standing, so we're waiting for this setup to play out, which we have uh, right here, as we can see, which we have right here, and also on our DX, our Alpha Capital, uh, swing account, we have the same buy limit setup, waiting. So, and we also did take the same trade on the S&P 500, and we're currently up $700. Which, if I go to the other chart, this is a trade that we took. There's our stop loss, and it's just ripping. Oh, and we're up $700. So our equity now is 1,400, which is fine. So that is going well, and we're just gonna let it run, and we're gonna see what happens with gold. Now, with our FTMO, uh, since we've already passed this challenge, since we've made the profit target, so now we're just trading to make sure that we get the remainder of our days to complete the minimum trading days. So we've done 2 days, Monday and Tuesday. So this was yesterday when we took the $10 loss. We're just doing the days counting now, and we've opened for Wednesday, and we've taken the trade for Wednesday, which is currently running, and we're in profits of $89, almost at $100. So that's good. If when we close this trade, it's gonna be 3 days now, and we would need to take one more trade tomorrow to make it 4 days. So if I go to my gold is just wow, ripping, just pushing. If we go to MetaTrader 5 for our FTMO account, we would see the trade on gold that we took. There we go. That was a trade that we are currently in. We got in here, and we have a stop loss here. I did also place the buy limit order on gold, as I've done multiple on the two accounts. But now that we're already $8 in profits, I just go ahead and close this one. I'll just go ahead and close that one and just focus on this guy. Um, which we got in at 135. It's currently 157. So we're almost been in there for 25 minutes. 35 plus 20 is 55. Yes, we've been there for 20 minutes. So yeah, and our equity now is 105,700. So you know we can almost close this trade count now and count that as another trading day in the books. So with that being said, yep, let's just go ahead and close this. $90. So with that trade closed, this would be our third trading day history. Up $91. So we are over by $798, which is good. And we're just gonna give this a little time for the FTMO system to understand that we've closed another trade, and then go back in there. And gold is just woof. That is one big candle. Now the guys who are trading on the 1 minute time frame would love this. They would love this. You know. So this is our zone in the 5 minutes, and that's our zone in the 15 minutes. And it's just ripping, it's moving to shreds. You know. Just going and going and going. Let's take these off. Going and going and going. but it was expected because after our trend line, I knew that when this trend got broken after three touch points, when it got broken, it's just gonna rip up, and you know we're not gonna chase the market. We're gonna wait for it to come to our point of interest, our zone of interest. Um, so lower highs and higher highs were in an uptrend, and we're approaching this level right here. We'll see how it behaves on this level. Um, but at this point, it's already created a new higher high. You know, so a low, a higher high, a higher low, a higher high, a higher low, a higher high, a higher low. Now we've created a new higher high. So at this point now, you know, we've created a new higher high. So this is now an internal high that's been created here. Um, Now we can say, okay, this high has been broken. This is our new break of structure. So now we're just doing live breakdown of the markets. This is our new break of structure, and our demand zone on the 1 hour time frame would be just this candle before the market erupted. So this would be our demand zone. Boom. So now we have two demand zones. We have the breaking of an internal high and the breaking of the main high. So now we're saying, so which zone are we taking? Which zone are we taking? At this point, let's go to the 50 minute and see if we can refine that entry. We can refine the entry in the 15 minutes. So saying there it is. This is the zone right there. So this is going to be our refined entry. Boom. So now we can say, okay, in the 1 hour time frame, we knew that sellers were sitting here. Now that buyers have pushed through, this resistance has now turned to support. And if this resistance has turned to support, this is now going to be our demand zone. So we're no longer interested in this demand zone. And that being said, now that means I would have to push my alert to the zone, to that zone, and this demand zone is now a secondary zone, and now I'm readjusting based on the market and saying, okay, this is now my new zone, and target the top to target the next one. And that'll be a 1 to 5. So this is my new zone, target the next one in the 1 hour time frame. So and that's how that's how the that's how my analysis work. This zone of resistance where sellers were sitting has been breached, so it's now turned to support. So identify new zone, and now we're looking to see if we're gonna have a retest of the zone to push it back up and see what it does. So let's just remove the view here and see what happens if the market comes back and retests that zone. So with our alarm, with our alert, we would know if this happens. And usually with trend lines, what we see is the trend line gets broken and then market comes back and retests before going back up. That's usually what happens with trend lines most of the times. Um, so uh, we're up 900 on the S&P 500, which is it's just behaving like gold, which is good. Which is good. So we're up 900 on there, and we're up 1100 on here. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So our equity now is 93 grand. So yeah, we'll take that. We will take that. So with this analysis now, dun, 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 I think we can relieve this zone of its duties, make the chart more cleaner and not so, not lines going everywhere. We can take these guys off as long as we get a understanding of what is going on. And we can take you off too because the market is not going down, it's going up. That looks a little clean. Maybe we can take this trend line away too, because now that we've preached it, I think it served its purpose. So to clean up the chart, let's take you guys off. We get the point now. For the lower highs, we can take the lower highs off and have a clean chart with just our zones and required guys that need to be here. So this is the setup that I am looking to get into now. Based on the break of this new high, and in the 15 minutes there's a zone here which I like, which is right at the break of that structure. So there we go. So we can take you out and say, okay, it was nice knowing you, but the market can still come to this zone. The market can still come and test this zone, but it's now a lower probability zone because this new zone is at the break of the trend line, which can be retested. And also it's at this level of resistance, which has now turned into support, which can also, my screen just went dark, which can also be retested. So I have a 90% chance that we're gonna retest here if the market comes down, and a 10% chance for this zone. So that means we are gonna have to readjust our buy limit orders to the new zones, which is, let's go to gold on the 15. Well, we can do the 15. There's a jump there. Let's see, where is this at? 47.17. So we can take you to 47 there. Let's do 47.817. There we go. And the stop loss is somewhere at 46.94. 46.92. 93. Let's do 46.93. That's $600. But we want to risk 500. There we go. So there it is. We've adjusted this one. Now let's do you guy. And we're going to 47.17. 47.17. There you are. So put it right there. Boom. 47.17. And this is at 4,700. The stop loss is at 4,700. 46.94. We need that to be at 94. We're gonna adjust you 95, 93, 95, 94. Boom. So now we're doing 700, but we're gonna have to Now it's 700, so we're gonna have to reduce this to 28 is 600 to 6 is 600 to 0 to 1. Okay, maybe to 2. It's 500. Okay, and modify. We want to risk $500. So put it there. Let's see how the market does. Now, since we've closed our trade on the FTMO account for day 3, let's see what the okay, it's been updated. Now we've had 3 trading days, and this we closed this day with a $91 profit. So that's good. That's good. So we need one more trading day, which would be tomorrow, to pass the verification. To pass our verification, which is yes, to pass the verification of this account. So yeah, this is good. This is good. Also, last update, I also took a trade for my Forex.com account on CAD and we're currently $2 in profits. I'm proud of myself. As you can see, the market is going down. Now, why did I get into the trade? There you have it. That's why I got into that trade. It's been sitting for months. Not months, I'm sorry, it's not months, just weeks, basically for weeks. So we can see that the market is in a downtrend. We made a higher high, made a higher low, but we did not create a new high. I would consider this a double top, you know, and then pushed back, we broke the neck. When we broke this neck, we, created we can call this a low. Yep. Created a lower low, then created a lower high, then created a new low, then did not break the previous high, and then we created a new low. And so with that, I identified the supply zone. So this was a candle before the drop. Boom. Identify this first zone. Identify the other zone. 2 candles before the drop. But then I went with, so I just identified both zones. And what I did was I had an alarm, an alert. I keep calling it alarm. It's an alarm. I had an alert here to let me know when the market gets to that zone. And we've been waiting since March 30th. So for what? 1 week we've been waiting. So you can see how long sometimes these setups take. They can take a week or 2 weeks just to play out. So patience is one of the virtues as a trader. So 1 week we're waiting for this setup to play out, and today it finally touched the zone. When it touched that zone, the alert sent came to me and said, "Ooh, CAD JPY." I can let me show you the alert. Where is the alert? This is right here. CAD JPY on crossing 21,211. If I go there, that's where is 211? This is CAD JPY. Yes, where is 211? No, that's not the alert. The log. The log. Oh yeah, there it is. This is the log. It was delivered at 1:13 today at 114,889. So if I go here, that is 114,889 is 889 is somewhere here. Yep, right there was where the alert was. But now, I got the alert first of all. I think there's 2 alerts. Yep, 9:58. I got the first alert when our zone got tapped. We got the alert at 9:58. This is 9:49. So 58 is probably somewhere here. I just passed it. There we go, somewhere around there. I got the alert that we've tapped into the zone. Now, for me to be sure that, okay, you've tapped into my zone, are you going to come out of my zone or are you going to go into the next zone? What I did was I then had a second alert right on this level right here where I took the sell to say, okay, you've tapped into the zone. Are you going to go below this candle, below this weak candle? So I put the alert there, and when this bearish candle uh, clipped, came down and touched that alert, I said, okay, that means okay, you didn't waste too much time in my demand and supply zone. It means this is the correct on the 4 hour. It means this is the correct what supply zone. So I'm gonna take a sell then. So then I went into the sell position, but with the capital that we have, we only had $121. So I cannot risk too much. So I'm risking about $5. You know, for a $14, 5 times 3 is 15. So I'm risking, so it is about 1 to 2.8, 1 to 2.9 for the risk on this trade. But on the higher time frame, we can see what is happening. So I'm currently targeting this low, but if it's in a downtrend, it should hopefully make a new lower low, which should give me $15. Um, but overall, that's what we're looking at. And so I took that trade, and currently we're at $3.50 in profits, which I'm happy for. Which I am happy for. I also took this same trade on. I have I have accounts everywhere. Please forgive me. On my trading.com, I've had this trading.com account for the past what 3 years now. I've been trading this account for about 3 years. So I have the same trade on my trading.com, which is a CAD JPY. So you can see it's the same setup, the same trade that I took. And this time I am. Let's go to the 4 hours. Yep, and there is a trade. So, yep, and we're currently, $9 in profit, and our equity now is almost $300. Well, $300. So, yay. Um, that's where we're at. So I'm trading two Forex accounts that are personal accounts, and I'm trading uh what 3 prop firm accounts. So that's a lot of things happening, and I'm working. Um, I have a job, and I'm also a student full time. So a lot of things going on for me this year. A lot of things going on. But the things and the decisions that we make. So yes, this has been a recap. How long has that been? 39 minutes, just the right time. So yeah, we'll see how this trade plays out, and we'll keep an eye on the trades on the positions that we're currently in right now. Currently in right now, $1,100 on the uh, S&P 500, and we're waiting on the gold trade on both accounts. So fingers crossed. And with that, I'd like to thank you all for watching, and have a nice day. I'll see you in the next video.